45 minutes past the hour. In this business, there are things called a good get. Bill O'Reilly is a good get. Simply put, Bill O'Reilly is the most successful cable television news and talk personality in American history. No hyperbole. It's just a fact. The O'Reilly Factor was number one all day parts, not just his primetime day part, for more than 15 consecutive years, probably closer to 20. We'll probably never see such dominance ever again. Bill's no spin zone has been sorely missed on cable television, although his various platforms have been very relevant. And I am thrilled to share with everyone that Bill O'Reilly has joined the WPG team, and he is a part of our Monday through Friday weekday lineup, basically effective immediately. Bill, welcome to Hurley in the Morning. How are you, my friend?
Harry, thanks for having me in. Great to talk with you.
Good to talk to you. And let's talk about your new syndicated radio program, the O'Reilly Update. Tell our listeners about it.
Yeah, I was always an admirer of Paul Harvey, and I thought that he added to America with his daily broadcasts, and of course he passed years ago. Before he did, I had a relationship with him. So once he left radio, there was a kind of gap. And I have been watching the past few years the decline of media across the board, and people are getting fed up with being deceived. So we basically said, look, we're going to do a 15-minute broadcast and put it out to the stations, the radio stations all across America. It's going to be an honest broadcast, but it's going to have commentary, and it's going to have a segment called What You Might Not Know, which is a little bit like Paul Harvey's The Rest of the Story. So we've been on 3 weeks, very successful, about 150 affiliates already, and we're pleased to be on Atlantic City with you guys because you're a powerhouse, obviously, and I'm happy to be here.
Bill, I mean this, it's not to be gratuitous. We have so much blatant opinion, even advocacy journalism. I think you're going to agree, the likes of which we've never seen before. They don't even hide it anymore. It's just unbelievable what they employ. I believe the American people have a thirst for real reporting, real honest analysis, and straight talk now more than ever. You do that better than anyone else in the past and in the present. What are your thoughts about just the way that journalism has driven into the ditch?
Well, it's very disturbing to me because I've been in journalism for 45 years. And I've watched, I got in it at Boston University with a master's degree around the Watergate time. And I've watched it deteriorate into, a circus. And I don't use that word, as a wise guy. You don't have standards anymore. And what happened, and this is what Americans don't understand, is that 6 corporations control 90% of the information flow around the United States. 6. 50 years ago, it was 50 corporations. Now, when you have a lot of corporations, you're going to have a lot of different skill sets. But with 6, it's basically a point of view in order to make money. And everybody knows it, Harry. You know it, I know it. It's either you love Trump on cable news or you hate Trump. And we're going to make money either hating the man or loving the man. That's not news, and that doesn't serve anybody. You've got to basically have a discipline where you're going to bring information that's true, not your truth. Here's my truth. No, this is the truth. I'm writing a book on Donald Trump. It's called The United States of Trump. It's a history book on him. It'll be out in September. And there isn't one anonymous source in the book. Everything you read will be true. I've broken my back writing this book because it was so hard because so much has been untrue about President Trump. Not a pro-Trump book, not an anti-Trump book, just a fact-based book. So we're going to bring that discipline to the radio, to the O'Reilly Update every day. It's going to be fast and fun. That's my orders to my crew: fast and fun and accurate, of course. Don't make any mistakes. But we were pretty accurate for 20 years plus on the O'Reilly Factor, so we've got a good system. And I took 5 people over from Fox with me when I went to BillO'Reilly.com, which is where our visual commentary is, BillO'Reilly.com every night.
Bill, I mentioned something in the beginning, and again, it was not to be gratuitous. I mean, you're here. I didn't have to say it. I wanted to say it. The O'Reilly Factor, Bill O'Reilly, #1 for almost 2 decades. I don't believe we're ever going to see that again. What was that like? Maybe when you're doing it, it's just you're in your lane, you're just doing what you do, and it's number one evening after evening, week after week, month after month, year after year. What was that like to be such a dominating factor?
Well, I'm a ferociously competitive person. You know, when I was growing up, I was an athlete. I played college football, high school ice hockey. I mean, just a very competitive guy. And, you know, I wanted to be number one from the time I signed on at Fox, and I had to beat Larry King, who was the champion of cable news on CNN. We wiped him out pretty fast. Now, I don't want to get cocky and I don't want to be arrogant because that's not the key to success. I have to tell you, and I think you're just like me, Harry. We get up every morning and we just do the best job we can do. I mean, that's what's on my mind. It's not like number one. It's like, okay, I'm putting on the best show I can put on. And we're going to hone it. We're going to make it so that the folks enjoy it and they talk about it and they look forward to seeing it again. That's what I did. And it was a discipline, and it worked, and I'm proud of it. And I agree with you; it's never going to happen again.
It can't. It's to your credit, and it's extraordinary. Bill, I want to talk about your books because I'm a huge fan of your writing style. This Killing series, and I was so happy when you told me that the Trump book is not killing Trump. I can't wait to buy your President Trump book. I cannot wait to have that in my library. But your Killing series is not only incredibly popular, you own that lane. How did you come up with that theme? And then you've been able to do it in so many different variations.
Yeah, we have two more Killing books. The next one is delayed because this Trump book is so important and we have to get it out fast. And I'm going to make an announcement probably this summer about what the topic is. There are 8 Killing books on the marketplace. That it is the most successful nonfiction book series in history, with 17 million copies in print, which is just unbelievable. Now, I'm a former high school history teacher. I taught in the ghetto of Miami right out of college. I always loved history, and I base a lot of my reportage today on what has happened in the past, and therefore giving some perspective, particularly on the radio. So when I first wrote it, the first book was Killing Lincoln, and the publisher looked at me and goes, look, you've had already 7 bestsellers, number one bestsellers, writing about contemporary things. Why are you going back? There's 1 million books about Abraham Lincoln. I said, not the way I'm going to write them. I'm going to write them so they're fun to read. And, you know, Father's Day is coming up. We want everybody to buy Killing the SS. That's the latest Killing book for Dad. And if you want to buy all 8, you get a free premium membership for life on BillO'Reilly.com. That's our hook. But it's the reason that these books are so important is because it gets people, particularly younger Americans, involved with history that have never been involved before because they're fun to read.
Bill, let me go back to the O'Reilly update because you're accustomed to at least an hour. Obviously, you had breaks and things, and some of the other digital platforms that are very successful having more time. Is it challenging for somebody that has the contacts that you do, the insights that you have, to be able to put 15 minutes together when you're used to even doing more than that? Is this a challenge?
We did the Radio Factor for 7 years, and then I just couldn't do that in the TV anymore. So this is really a fun format for me because what I get is 3 blocks. The first block is the news of the day, the most important stories, I think, for the folks. Second one is a 4-minute commentary about, you know, something I think is interesting. And the third one is what you might not know, which is 3 minutes. Now, it takes discipline to write in a way that is that concise. But I think in our distracted era where people are running around doing a million things, they got the machines in their hands, they're texting all over the place about what socks they have on that day, I think this format is perfect for the country we're in because it's so informative in such a short period of time.
I have to say this while Bill was here. I would tell him off the air, but my program director just sent me analytics. That's the cool thing we can do in real time. And boy, has this thing shot straight up since I said hello to Bill O'Reilly this morning. So thank you for helping me, Bill. I appreciate you. Let me bring out what probably is the biggest news of the day, and I'll sort of meld it into a wide-ranging question to tee it up for you to share your insight. I'm very, very anxious to hear your insight on this, Bill. The president has issued an order to the attorney general authorizing to declassify any documents that he sees fit regarding surveillance of the Trump campaign in 2016. I don't think there's any coincidence here that this comes basically hours after the speaker just went crazy with cover up. You need an intervention, all this crazy stuff. And so here we go. And supposedly, and I trust a guy like Congressman Mark Meadows, who he's probably seen a lot of this stuff, that says that the information that will be coming out will, quote, curl your hair. What do you think about this?
Well, first of all, I thought the timing was, as you just put it, a reaction to Nancy Pelosi's irresponsible statement. If you're going to say, Mr. Speaker, that a president of the United States covered it up, which is a Nixonian reference, all right, you got to give an example, and she didn't, and that was very irresponsible on her part. So what I expect to happen is indictments. I do believe that the Inspector General of the Justice Department, Michael Horowitz, will come back with a report that goes to the Attorney General and recommend indictments of James Comey, McCabe, and some other FBI guys, perhaps Clapper and Brennan in national security and the CIA. But the big story here is, how did this all start under the Obama administration? So once a person gets arrested, their lawyer says, look, we can make a deal if we flip up. And if that starts happening, boy, what a scandal. Everybody should pay attention, close attention. And on the O'Reilly update, you're going to get the truth, not wishful thinking. So I'm looking forward to covering this story for sure. Me
too. I'm on the same page as you. That's exactly how I think it's going to play out. And I think from the beginning, I think it was I guess it was easy. They had a weak guy like Sessions. He does exactly what they want him to do. He puts in the Mueller as the special counsel, and then they know that that's at least 2 years of just hell for the president and anybody in his orbit. And they put their stink on the president and his group of people. Meanwhile, if we ever got to the point that we would investigate, as you're just talking about, Bill O'Reilly, the origin of it all, I think all the bad news is coming for them.
Well, that's for sure. Somebody designed this whole thing. And when you read The United States of Trump, my new book coming up, you'll see that the president made mistakes coming into an office that he was unfamiliar with, as anybody would. Look, you know Harry, President Trump. I don't know whether your listeners know this, but that Harry knows President Trump and worked for him. And in the world of business, what Trump devoted his whole life to, beginning when he was in Fordham University in New York, is a lot different than national politics. So you're going to have a learning curve, and particularly in a campaign. You're going to hire people that aren't really up and up, like Paul Manafort. That's going to happen. And what from my perch, the wise guys embedded in the intelligence agencies and law enforcement agencies and in the Obama administration said, this guy doesn't know really what he's doing yet. We can get him. And they did. They got him. And they made his life hell. But now I think it's going to turn.
I do too.
And the American people, I want everybody to keep an open mind. The press isn't going to. No. The press is going to try to diminish this investigation. They're going to try to throw up every flag in the world. That's going to happen, which is why the O'Reilly update and radio stations like yours are very important for the folks, because the folks need to know the truth.
I want to stay longer, but I want to keep my word. We're going to get Bill out by 9 because I know he's got a lot going on. In 30 seconds, Bill O'Reilly, at this point in time, and I realize it's a year and a half plus, but how do you think the president sits right now as a candidate for reelection?
If it's Biden, and that's my prediction, that Biden will get the nomination on the Democratic side, it's going to be a dogfight, very tough. It's going to be close, but this means that nothing else can happen. So if all of these declassifications show that Donald Trump was treated unfairly and perhaps illegally, that will help the president on reelection. But if not, it's going to be a very tight race.
Bill O'Reilly joins the WPG lineup. I couldn't be happier. The program is going to be must listen. We'll have it every single day right here on WPG, on all of our many platforms, on FM, AM, and all our digital platforms. The O'Reilly Update, Monday through Friday, right here on WPG. And, Bill, I look forward to seeing you in New York at Talkers in a couple of weeks, where you'll be delivering a keynote address that we're all looking forward to.
Yeah, we'll have some fun, Harry. Anytime you need me, give me a shout.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, best to everyone.